my friends, to a podcast that's been described as
emotional
and
terrifying.
One guy even said it was
So awesome it will shock you to the core.
finally another podcast about Godzilla and all his giant monster friends.
This could be the end of civilization.
Yeah, probably. So join your hosts, KES and Slick.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You're listening to the podcast from Odo Island. Welcome to the podcast from Odo Island. Follow us on the internet at Odo Island Pod. I am KES. With me as always, a man who always runs while others walk. He acts while other men just talk. They call him the winner who takes it all. And he strikes like Thunderball. Slick, how you doing?
That was very building me up intro. Off to a very positive start here. Will it remain so positive for the next hour and change that you hang out with us? Find out on this episode of the podcast from Odo Island.
I always try to look at the brighter part of our task here, which is to review movies.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to see if there's any sunlight under a rock today.
Well, before we get to our topic at hand, which if you're listening to this podcast and can read, you understand what it is. It's Gappa, the Triphibian monster. Before we get to that, any news you want to let me? I've been kind of out of it the past couple days.
Sure. Well, couple little things. We got some Gamera Rebirth anime figures. Did you see those?
I did.
So far, all we got was Gamera, Gauss, and the Jiger's not released yet, but we got a reveal of that. But the Gamera figures out. Saw some reviews. Of course, I'll always give a little shout out to friend of the pod, Shin Rubjira.
Mm-hmm.
Watched his review. Very cool looking figure. Have you seen pictures of this figure?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I think this is a very cool Gamera design.
Yep.
You know, we still don't have a release date, as far as I'm aware, for the anime series, but I think if Bandai seems to keep figures very close to a show or movie's release. So I'm expecting that hopefully we'll get that like sometime over the summer or something like that.
Yeah, maybe even sooner.
Maybe
2 weeks.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Speaking of animes, there's a Chibi Godzilla, like kind of like little kids anime that is started airing in Japan. I will probably never watch it, but I'm glad that it's out there.
Okay, not my thing, but
yeah,
enjoy.
no, I mean, no, like I said, probably not going to watch it, but I don't watch Gojiban either, and I feel like maybe one day I really will just watch all of Gojiban like in one afternoon. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's like the really
I'm familiar with it, but I've never watched it.
Yes, it's a very trippy puppet show that I've watched little bits of it, and I go like, this is like legitimately insane. So especially the early episodes are bonkers. But so that came out as of today's recording. And it appears to be all but confirmed. Looks like we have a Shin Kamen Rider release date in America, May 31st. Very exciting. I assume we'll probably be going to see that on May 31st.
I'm in.
Cool. I love the first 3 minutes that we got that was posted online. That was like that fight scene where a Kamen Rider, I think I said it to you, where a Kamen Rider is just like punching dudes and they just explode into blood.
I don't think I watched it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm a bad friend.
Okay, well... We'll have to watch that after this because it's fucking awesome.
Okay.
They're doing the same thing where it's like, oh, here's like the first like few minutes of Shin Kamen Rider, like they did with Shin Ultraman. And boy, if you need any motivation to watch that movie, it's that'll do it.
I like things exploding in blood. That's pretty cool.
Yes. I mean, they don't like explode. It's like he like punches them and like blood just comes flying out. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's a good segue to it's a new month, new Battleline season.
Yep.
Have you been playing?
Yeah, not really.
No? Oh, so
I got the Spider Dude, but I haven't gotten the Kamen Rider Dude, and I'm just kind of like I haven't done the Game Pass thing, whatever, the monthly pass.
Oh yeah,
I'm drifting away.
I understand. Well, Kumo the spider, he is a busted ass unit, setting the Battleline world on fire because he's. Have you used him much at all?
I haven't used him. I've played against him though.
Yeah. So he has a stun effect, huge range, hits 3 times in a row. Like even at like low levels, he is menace, and he has kind of like with GMK has like effectively killed the Batra / flying meta that dominated / in my opinion borderline ruined the game over the last couple months. I'm glad that these new units have come out and have totally disrupted what the meta was. We got the egg event. You didn't really enjoy the egg event.
No, I tried it and I don't know. It just seemed like it just seemed unbalanced and kind of dumb.
I liked it a lot actually. I wanted a mode where you had fixed levels with a purpose, rather than just doing like fixed matches where you don't really get any rewards. And I was glad we got this.
Yeah, it just kind of proves that like if you set up like a certain lineup, then you're gonna win, unless the other person has the exact same lineup, and then it's just about like who gets the better like
opening hand, basically.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like okay.
That's kind of the problem with every mode in Battleline is like everyone is kind of running the same decks. I always kind of try to change it up a little bit.
I mix it up.
Yeah. For the egg mode last season, I was doing ultimately a lot of people were using Destroya, but I was using Destroy. Like you could only have 2 4-star units in your deck.
Right.
And I was doing Final Wars Gigan and Destroya, and that was really good. That was a really good combo for me. I didn't lose much.
I did Mothra and Ultraman. I also did Gigan and one other one. I forget which one, but like I tried different ones, and it just seems like everyone was doing Ultraman and the Mothra, and so I couldn't win if I didn't do it.
Yeah, Ultraman was a popular unit last time. So, but I thought Final Wars Gigan, if you wait for like Ultraman to land and then send Final Wars Gigan after him, that seemed to do the trick. But yeah, that's your Battleline talk. Unless you had anything else you wanted to add to that.
Nope. Like I said, I'm drifting away. I didn't get my money this month. I'm just kind of like I was even probably the past month or so. I've been kind of meh on Battleline.
Yeah, it's ebbing and flowing. There's a lot of people I think there's a lot of people that are sharing your sentiment, and then on the flip side, I think especially in Japan, like of Ultraman, Evangelion, Godzilla, like Kamen Rider is like above and beyond the most popular of those properties. Mm-hmm. And I think that has brought a lot of new players, at least in Japan, from what I understand. A lot of new players have kind of come into Battleline because of just the unrelenting popularity of Kamen Rider.
It just seems like you can't level up fast enough. Like you get like level ups for like shitty units that you don't want to use.
That is the chief problem with Battleline. They have not figured out. I appreciate that they have tried to take steps over once every few months where they try to go, okay, we're going to try to make it easier to like level up the 4-star units, but ultimately they have introduced so many that it's so hard to get.
That's what I mean. Like like they need to like give you like at least like one energy cell a week.
Oh, the G material?
Yeah, G material. They need to do at least one a week to every player.
I think like you really only get like 3 a season if you do the battle pass.
That's what I mean. It's just you don't go fast at all with it. Like a lot of my 4-star units are still in like the 2s and 3s, and I'm like I'm never going to use you because I can't get any levels. Like I get like the ones I use in my main deck for like leveled up to like 12, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like I've used a ton of resources on like these 3, and I got them to like a respectable level. But then like I look at all my other ones and I'm like, yeah, I've neglected everything else in favor of you though.
All my G materials for the last couple of months and probably for the next several months are all going to GMK.
That's where I put mine. Yeah,
it's gonna be a little inside baseball, but Spence, if you do listen to this podcast, I apologize ahead of time for that comment. I know how much that upset you, but we're still cool.
Sorry,
a little
Spence.
inside, but yeah, like last season was the second Evangelion season, and did you get Eva 08, the sniper?
I got all the Evangelion
Yeah.
units, and they were cool. They serve different purposes. I'm not going to say they weren't like good units. It's just like I said, everything's such a low level that I'm never going to use it.
Right. I thought the sniper one was actually like unexpectedly really good.
Yeah.
And I was actually I played like a little like kind of fixed tournament with some people, and I put that unit in my deck, and it was like actually was really useful to me. So that's I guess another reason why what I like about the idea of the egg mode is like I think it needs refinements. I think it needs to be polished up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the idea, the bones of a good idea is there.
The idea is good, but I think they need to make it so that you're not stuck using like crappy.
I think they should change the deck conditions multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it should be that one set condition, but I like the idea that it's like, if you're playing with fixed decks, if you have these like 4-star units that are really low levels, well, now they're going to have purpose because like
Right.
you can insert them into a fixed deck and get use out of them.
But it does sort of like take away like if you've been leveling up like a unit that like transforms, like good luck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm probably never going to use Destroya or like Shin Godzilla like in ranked play. So like I was glad I have like I had an avenue to use them in this mode.
But even like Ultima too, like
Oh, no, Ultima's the best. Ultima's in all my decks.
it's a good unit, but like it's such a low level that I can't use them.
Oh,
So
man.
like if you put them as a 20 and that it could work, but then like if everything else is a 20, probably just gonna knock him out real quick too.
His range is so good.
His range is good, but good luck getting him to Ultima.
Oh, yeah.
He's
yeah.
probably gonna get killed before he transforms.
My yeah, he's not good for ranked. He's not good for fixed play. But in ranked, I am one Ultima unit away from mine being level 25. And I
Nice.
can't wait for that to happen.
I just got Fire Rodan and Kiryu to where you need two G materials to level them up.
Oh, so you're above 15.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
both like 15.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, done.
Yeah. My Fire Rodan's also at 24. Fire Rodan and Ultima, my two highest leveled 4-star units, and they're both at 24. And then all my other 4-star units, like right around like that I use a lot, are like around like 19 to like 21. Except GMK, who's 10. But he's like such a bruiser that at 10, he is still just crushing it all over the place. Again, sorry, Spence.
I think mine's like a 4 now because I used like 2 G materials on him.
Yeah, hey, keep pumping him up.
Well-
He's useful.
It's like, yeah, but like he's going to be useful in like 3 or 4 months. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. That's what I don't like. Like Batra took me like really like 4 months to start using.
I think GMK gets. I was using him last season in my my main deck at like level 7, and I was like, wow, he's putting the work in at level 7, and so I think the sky's just the limit now.
I just wish you could level him up faster. That's all.
Yes, I agree. There's other mobile games I played over the years, like I played Fire Emblem Heroes like a lot, and whenever a new unit came out, it was very easy to essentially max that unit out like in the first week it was like released, and they do like a really good job of like, I mean, there's 500 different units in that game, or probably, I mean, I haven't played in like 8 months, like there's probably 600 units at this point in that game, and like they do a really good job of like when you're pulling for units, like you pull from like different banners, and like they'll say like this banner, if you're gonna pull from this banner, it's only going to have like these X amount of units in that banner or in that pool, so that's like you can kind of go, okay, well, that's where I want to focus. I want to get those units. And so I know that pool is going to be limited to the units that I want. And so you can just focus your resources like on that.
Yeah.
And I think Battleline is getting to the point where it's like they need to start doing something like that. Like,
Right.
because like now it's like you get an expedition map and it's like,
It'd be good like if you could level up like groups of units instead of just one unit at a time. Like if you
Yeah.
got a G material and it leveled up every single unit in your fucking deck.
oh, well, no, they're not going to make any money off of that.
I know.
They ain't going to allow that to happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like but you get what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
From a player standpoint, it's just
Right.
I've been playing for almost a year now, and I'm just like kind of like, ugh, like I almost dislike more than I like.
I kind of am going. I get like frustrated with aspects of Battleline, but at the same time too, like when it does something good, I just go like, oh, this is awesome. But like when it does something like frustrating, I go like, what? I'm like, why? Why can't you fix this? This is so obvious. Like why is Psychic Core so busted? Why is Batra so busted? Like, why is this new spider unit so busted? Even though I use the spider unit all the time, but it's like still, I sit there and go like, I was like, you gotta fix this shit like quick. But I mean, it's I will always appreciate the developers for Battleline seem very receptive to feedback and try to do their best.
A really good game. I don't mean to be bitching and moaning about it. It's just maybe it's just been I've been doing it for a year now, and I'm just
we have a podcast. That's what we do.
You're right. I feel shitty about it. I think that they worked very hard and they did a great job with it.
I think we promote the game a lot. I think we are allowed to be. We are allowed to complain.
As long as we're making sure to put that caveat in there, then I'm okay with it. I feel better about it. I hate being critical about people's efforts.
No, I know. I mean, I love Battleline. I think it's a fantastic game. I give it my money every month, and I think because of that, I think we have the right to call out like things that are impacting our experience.
Okay. All right.
We're the consumer. It's fair to do that.
We are the consumer. Yeah.
But I will always put the asterisk in like I think Battleline's a fantastic game. I love playing it.
I love playing it when it's like a very competitive battle that like takes a long time. When it's when like the battles go over the time frame and you get until they start moving closer together and you're still like it's still like just like a fist fight. It's a Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre versus Gunther thing. I think that's when I get like the most enjoyment out of it, because even if I lose, I'm just like, man, like I could have won.
Yeah.
But, like we still like had a really good back and forth, and then like they'll sticker me like, let's meet again. And I'll be like,
yes.
Great.
Positive experience.
Those are the best. Like that's when it's at its best. When it's at its worst is when I get matched up with either a bot and I beat it in 5 seconds, or if it's someone who I should not be matched up with at all.
Sure, right.
And they just cream me. And it's the same way around too. When I get matched up with someone who I should not be matched up with, and it's definitely a person, because you can tell the bots, because the bot will just be like fire their boss's effect first.
Yeah, they're special. Yeah.
You can always tell. When you get matched up with like someone who just like it's the beginning of the month and they had a really good month last month, and then they go up against you who like didn't really care, and you just fucking annihilate them in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I'm breaking someone's will, and I don't want to do that. It's a video game.
Right.
Like
I will say on the bot front, I like how like 10 minutes ago I said we were going to stop talking about Battleline, but here we are, but that's fine. But they made some new bots for like rank 66 that are actually like pretty well designed bots. And like I'm in like some various like group chats where everyone kind of goes like, yeah, sometimes I get like, matched against one like the rank 66 bots, and like they're like more challenging than like a lot of players are, because like they actually design them like in a really smart way.
Yeah.
And like one of them is actually like a Kiryu bot, so you're just kind of like hoping it doesn't use absolute zero on you as soon as it starts like getting into that overtime thing. But I mean, it's look, Battleline, you're doing great things, but
yes,
you can always be better, and we're here to give constructive feedback.
Okay. It's definitely not hate filled.
No, absolutely
I
not.
enjoy it. I just feel myself drifting away.
Yeah. But they should know why you're drifting away, and they should want to get you back.
It's just because I can't level up and get good fast enough. I've been playing for almost a year, and I feel like I should be like, if I play like a normal console game, like I have beaten the game, I have maxed out my characters, I've done pretty much everything I want to do in this amount of time. Like I'm on my third or fourth playthrough at this point, and this I feel like I'm still like 20% through the game at this point, and I'm just kind of like if I stop now, it'll be better for me long term because I will never get to where like players, because I came in late, so I'll never get to where the ground floor players are at this rate.
You hear that, Battleline? You got to win KES back.
They can easily win me back.
You know, KES is having a talk with you where he's saying, you know, we might need a break. So I think you gotta be a little bit more mindful of his feelings. Maybe you gotta listen to him a little bit.
I just want to level up my 4-star units better.
Maybe you gotta take the recycling out a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you could
Just give me a little kiss once in a while.
Maybe you could wash a dish every once in a while. Maybe you could vacuum the floor every now and then.
Okay, I think that puts an end to our Battleline talk. Let's talk about the topic at hand.
Let's.
So, we just watched Gappa. It is my first Gappa experience ever. I knew nothing about the movie going into it, which is what I want. I want to know nothing.
Yeah.
Nilch. Or zilch, I should say. Nilch. Take a shot. We watched it. You were like, let's watch it together so we could have like a shared experience. It'll be better. And I was like, okay. And so this is going into it. I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
Except for what you had mentioned. You always put it on the polls as a joke. And I was like, okay, well, one day we'll watch it.
And now I realize our followers were trying to protect us. And that's why they never voted for Gappa. They were trying to protect us. So I've only watched Gappa once. And I watched I own the English version on a really shitty quality DVD that I probably bought 15-ish years ago. I probably watched it when I first bought it, and I have never watched it. I have not watched it since. This is literally my second Gappa viewing. And so I'm glad we did this together while drinking.
Yeah, having a few claws. Overall opinions will come. You gotta set this table for me. I need to know more about this.
Yeah, I mean, what's there to say about Gappa? It has a million different titles. Gappa, the Triphibian monster from a prehistoric planet, Daikaiju Gappa in Japan, made in 1967. You know, same year. We're not destroy all monsters era yet. We're still kind of like Godzilla's in the South Seas, hanging out. You know, with his newfound kid. Speaking of kids, this movie has almost an identical plot to Gorgo. The writers of this movie claimed they had never seen Gorgo prior to making this movie. I don't know if I believe that, but that's cool.
Those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it.
This was a sweet. Maybe that's not the right way to say it. I was going to say a suite of movies were pitched. Gappa was one of 5 movies that were pitched to kind of capitalize on the kaiju craze that was still going on in the 60s. Mm-hmm. Those other 4 never got made. Gappa is the one is the sperm cell that won the race.
Okay.
You know, other than that, I don't really have too much in the way of trivia. I recall in an older G-Fan magazine that I had, maybe around the early 2000s, that there was a pitch that never got made for there was a proposed Gappa versus Gulala movie, was kind of in the works. Maybe we can revisit that topic later when we get to the end, and we can have a little debate who would win in a fight, Gappa or Gulala. You know, the X from outer space. You know,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, just clarifying for the listener. I know I was looking at you when I said that, but that was for the listener. That was for the listener at home. So that's kind of it. You know, your thoughts.
Where do I begin? Well, fucking Brian. This thing starts off and they're in the fucking ocean. Of course they are. Where else would they be? Fucking outside the goddamn ring.
Did it give you like Matango vibes? At first I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's going to be like another like Matango movie. They're at sea.
That's why I was
Matango it was not.
I was being critical. That was my critical voice. So they're at sea. A dude is fishing with OSHA would be having a fucking fit with this guy. Just like putting a line into the water, fucking no protections. There's like barely a fucking guardrail on the boat.
Yeah.
It's just a real nightmare condition fishing thing. I don't fucking want to talk about this. Man.
I mean, we don't gonna walk through the whole movie, so
I'm joking. My overall opinion of this movie was, as we were watching it, I was just like, I said to you, this is a movie about stupid people.
yes. Not a lot of logic here.
This is a movie that shouldn't have happened had anyone just said the most obvious fucking thing 20 minutes in.
Yes. Yeah.
This movie doesn't happen if people are smart.
Yeah. So Playmates, prior to being a figure company, was apparently in the business of trying to make their own version of Jurassic Park. They kind of send this research vessel, which is a combination of people trying to recruit stuff for Playmates and also scientists doing research. Although all that's kind of like doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, they're real scientists. They have little fucking beakers on their boats, but they're the dumbest fucks on the goddamn planet.
No idea what's going on with those beakers either. They're just kind of like mixing stuff. Like no real talk of like what that is.
They gotta be shots, man.
Is that like what maybe that's like what people do instead of like playing solitaire? Like some people just like mix shit in beakers. But get to an island. You know, they keep saying, "Oh, look at these statues! They look just like the things on Easter Island." Which I like how you pointed out. We said, like, no, these look like Trevor Lawrence.
They do not look like Trevor Lawrence at all. They look completely different from the Easter. Like, liar.
Yeah, nor do they look like Gappa. Like the natives say, like, "Oh yeah, the statue." Like the native kid is like, "Oh yeah, it's a statue of Gappa." I was like, "That's not what Gappa looks like."
Everything they say is wrong. It's
Yes.
a lie.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, everyone is fucking dumb.
No one's an accurate reporter of information in this movie.
Yeah.
Even like little things they go like, "Oh yeah, like, you know, should we found an egg with a little baby Gappa that popped out. Oh, you're saying we shouldn't take him? Should we put him back in the lake?" I'm like, "Well, you didn't find him in a lake. You put it, find him in a cave. You know, next to a lake. There was a lake in that cave, but you did not find him in the lake. He was, you know, comfortable on the shore."
But like, Brad, fuck this movie and everyone involved.
Yeah, this is not a good one. This is not a I feel like a lot of what I'm saying is stuff that you said as we were watching it. Like you said, like, you know, if this movie was zany, it would be redeeming. But it's not. It's just boring.
That was my main takeaway, was that like if it had like some goofy shit going on, or if like one of the Gappas just had like a foot long hanging down or something like that, I would like or a couple mounds like in the Kong movie.
Oh God. Like it's like an hour, like 25 minutes long, and like
I've watched 2-hour long movies that felt shorter.
yeah, it's like, especially the first like 40 minutes of the movie is like, you know, it's like they're on the island, like you're waiting for them to find the Gappa egg. It's like they're like walking through the forest. Then all of a sudden they're like in kind of like this like canyon valley. Like
Yeah.
it goes from lush forest to like desert valley.
Pretty quick.
Desert rocky valley very quickly and very abruptly. But it's like there's so many shots of them just walking.
Yeah.
And
It's
like
it was
nothing
The Walking
happening.
Dead, yeah.
Just walking. And they find the egg. And then they, you know, put the baby Gappa on the boat. And there's a lot of talk. I'm like, well, what do we do with the baby Gappa? Do we put it in the amusement park? Or do we put it in the research lab? All right, we put it in the research lab. Oh, by the way, Gappas apparently have homing abilities. So if his parents were alive, they can probably find him. That was a very nice, like, little kind of exposition dump.
Didn't.
They took the long way around.
They fucked a lot of shit up in the wrong area before they got there.
Yeah. Well, so all right, so let's reset a little bit. So like what we just kind of summed up in about 45 seconds is about the first 50 minutes of
Easy.
the movie.
Yeah.
And you know, there's like no character development. There's like no.
I asked you about 40 minutes in. I was like, name one of these characters.
And I said, I can name that guy Dr. McDonald because I thought it was so ridiculous that, like, I was just like,
you
oh.
said Saki, because, like, literally, like, 30 seconds before it.
Yeah.
And I made a Drake joke.
But yeah, there was like Dr. McDonald from the US who's introduced and doesn't do anything. He's just there.
Literally just there.
Yeah, he just kind of follows them around. He doesn't really add anything to the plot.
Zero impact.
So, but I'm like, okay. But now the Gap, like, so here is where I will say some positive thing. When Gappa's parents, appear and they get to mainland Japan, like, these shots of like them attacking the city, like, they're not terrible. They're certainly not Godzilla quality or even like Showa Gamera quality, but they're not terrible. They're okay. They kept my interest enough. I like their battle with the tanks where they start shooting their Godzilla knockoff radioactive ray. I like
the only scene that I really enjoyed was like they showed this little area where people are like sitting around playing music and there was like a dancing thing going on with like the and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this shot in the movie? I didn't say it, but I was thinking it. I was like, what are we watching here? Like, what is the purpose of this? And then they just cut away and I was just like, oh, filler. Okay. So I just moved on with my life. And then like 30 seconds, 40 seconds later, Gappa like crushes it. And I was like, okay, you set it up. Like, you could have just like had the one shot. Like, you didn't need the setup shot for the one shot. You could have just like had that shot and then had Gappa's foot come down. 5 seconds, you're done.
Yeah. It was Chekhov's nightclub, is what that was.
But I did enjoy that.
Yeah, that was good. I do feel like the Gappas, like, I feel like their height changed radically throughout the movie.
Yeah, so like coming out, like they're in the cave and they're like 10 feet taller than the egg.
Yeah,
and then they're in the like they're coming out of the cave and I was like, okay, they're like 30 feet tall. Then they're stomping on the village and they're like, oh, they're 100 feet tall now. Okay.
Yeah. Then they're in Tokyo, or I don't think it was Tokyo. They were in another part of Japan, and in some shots, like, yeah, they're like 100 feet tall.
Yeah.
Then others like, oh no, it looks like they're like 200 feet tall.
Yeah.
Because like they'll just have like their legs like kind of in the background, like look like they're standing on top of buildings, basically. Yeah. So I was like, okay, like we have like no real idea like how tall they actually are. So that's fun. But the Gappas themselves, as the design, pretty enjoyably stupid looking.
They kind of look like a busted Rodan.
Yeah, it's like a Rodan head, like on like a cheap Godzilla body.
I mentioned. I'm not going to say the joke I made to you because it was kind of funny, but
okay.
But like, the kind of like, it's like if Rodan and Howard the Duck like kind of like merged faces.
Yes,
it was kind of like that. Whatever to me.
Yeah,
wasn't in love with it.
Yeah. So
I don't need any fucking Gappa
revivals in your life. You don't need a Gappa. I would not mind having one Gappa figure in my collection. I used to hate the Gappa design when I was watching this movie, and I was like, it's not as stupid as I used to think it was. But I mean, it's stupid. Let me rephrase. It's a stupid design, but I used to think it was bad, and like just like a totally like rubbish sort of way. Mm-hmm. And this time around, I was like, it's so weird. It's like almost like comical to me, like how weird the Gappas are. I mean, I'll say the suit for the kid is like total trash. Like, and that really shows when they're all at the airport together, and it's like the thing just like the person who's in the suit can barely even like stand up properly. It's like kind of hunched over, the arms are just kind of flopping around. But I thought the Gappa parents, I thought they were like serviceable.
Yeah, one of them had like a bigger spike on their head than the other one, so I was like, okay, that's how you differentiate the two.
Yeah.
Also, the one with the spike in his head, always to the right. The one with the smaller spike, always to the left.
Probably not by design. Probably just human nature taking over when they're filming the movie.
Or that they just like where it's like, okay, you're here, now just walk.
Yeah. There was one funny part that we both laughed at with the Gappas when they were underwater, which you at first did not realize they were actually underwater.
I thought it was
in the
nighttime.
scene.
Yeah, it did not look like underwater.
But they're excuse me, they're underwater in this like lake, and one of the many failed plans launched against the Gappas is to kind of lure them out of this lake with like this like really like obnoxious like siren type sound, and it cuts to one of the Gappas just like shaking its fist with like anger over like the sound, and then like, oh yes, they're coming to the surface of the water now, let's fire these missiles at them, which don't do anything other than cause the Gappas to fly out of this lake and cause a giant wave that then like wipes out like a neighboring village or town or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's almost kind of comical how badly that plan fails.
And this is kind of what I was just like, you guys are all fucking stupid.
And throughout the movie, people are just like, we should probably give them the kid back. And everyone's like, no, get out of here. The obnoxious people with rational ideas. Silence you.
It really was like a collection of like, okay, how do we prolong this to like finish? Because the way it ends, they give the fucking Gappas the kid back, and then it's like, all right,
Yeah.
this is all we wanted, so see you later, fuck off. And it's just kind of like, how many people needed to die for you to fucking do the right thing?
So this plot device is fairly common in the 60s, right? Like we got Gorgo doing this, we got Mothra kind of doing this with like the Shobijin, or not kinda, I mean that's exactly what it is. Yeah. And usually it's like everyone's trying to get that MacGuffin character back to the Guardian. And there's usually some like just like really terrible person who's like trying to undercut those plans, and that's like the tension. You do get like the evil, capitalist Playmates owner guy, but like he's not really the reason why they're not giving the baby Gappa back. It's just like everyone's just like,
everyone's just kind of soft.
I don't know, let's just not do that. Let's just not really worry about it. Let's just not go that route. Like it's not like he's like putting barriers, like where it's like you got the evil entertainer guy in the Mothra movie, like running off with the Shobijin and like concealing them, or like even in Mothra versus Godzilla, where it's like, he's like, I'm gonna try to kidnap the Shobijin so they don't get back to Mothra.
Right.
Like it's just like, nah, let's just not do that plan. Let's try this like siren thing and the missiles in the lake, and let's do that instead.
First step was annihilation, and then the second step was let's give her this kid back.
Yeah. So it's just the tension's just not there. Like these characters, like there's nothing unique to like these are all cardboard.
Oh,
so
that's why I was like, I have no attachment to anyone in this movie. Like nobody's stuck out. Everyone's the same. No, bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what more do we have to say about this movie?
I think I summed it up when I said fuck this movie and everyone in it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So, shall we get to the ranking?
Yeah, let's rank this. Because it is rank. 1 out of 5. 1's a jobber, 5's a main eventer, 2's a lower job guy, 3's a mid-carder, 4's a upper mid-card, your IC champ, your Gunters. 5, again, like I said, your Roman Reigns. I'm going to go first. 1, fuck this movie.
This is also a strong one for me. And in fact, I was actually thinking, I was like, is this the worst movie we have watched yet? What would you put as the worst? I mean, I also agree this probably is not the worst, but I'm trying to think what is worse.
The Godzilla.
Godzilla 98 is probably actually
Godzilla
better.
Anime movie.
Oh, you.
I was looking away from you when I was doing that too.
You disgust me.
I'll probably say the second anime is probably my least favorite.
You
overall
son of a bitch.
Yeah. Sorry. I think Godzilla 98 would be there if that movie never existed.
I'm trying to think if there is a worse one that we have watched. I feel like there was like one movie. Oh no. Peter Jackson, King Kong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God, that's the hard thing about that movie too, because I really want to like it, and it's just I can't.
I don't. I enjoy hating it. It makes my blood pump every
But, like,
day.
I like
hating that movie.
I like so many other Peter Jackson movies. I recently rewatched the Hobbit series, and I was just like, these movies aren't bad, but like, there's no reason for there to be 3 of them at all. And like, I love the Lord of the Rings movies. But man, that King Kong movie, after not watching it for like a very long time, really the only enjoyment I had was like the T-Rex stuff.
Yeah, I had no enjoyment.
I understand.
No enjoyment at all. No enjoyment at all.
And I was
sir.
watching it with you and our other friend, and so it's like I'm in a good environment for this. But like, even I was kind of leading the charge of the negativity there. I was like, man, this is bad.
Yeah.
You got up and you took a bathroom break when we were watching it, and you missed like when they were like when Adrian Brody was like key striking like Skull Island or whatever into like the typewriter, and I was like, what the fuck is this for?
I just always remember going like, Peter Jackson's King Kong is 3.5 hours, and the original movie it's like twice. It's I think what
it's
worked out
over
to
twice
be,
as long.
It's like I think you can watch the original movie 2.5 times for the length of what Peter Jackson's King Kong is, and I remember those characters in 1933 a whole lot more.
Yeah, so that I think collectively that's probably our least favorite.
Yeah.
Congratulations, G98.
You're not the worst, but you're close.
You're close.
Oh yeah, okay. So if there was a Gappa versus Gulala movie, regardless of the quality of their movies, just
I
the
understand what you're saying.
the characters themselves.
Yeah.
Who wins?
I don't know who wins. An ear with an arm or an arm with an ear.
I'm gonna go with Gulala just for all his space shit that he's got going on.
Well, there's 2 Gappas too, so think of that.
Well, I guess that's the other thing. Is Gulala fighting one Gappa, or is he fighting both Gappas?
I think if you're going one-on-one, mano a mano, it's tough because they couldn't do any damage to the Gappa, like nothing. Tough one.
I'll also remind you that Gulala showed a little bit more of a wide range of fighting skills. I mean, if you remember, he like picks up a boat at one point, just tosses a boat for like
Gappa could do that though.
Yeah.
Just because they didn't do it doesn't mean they can't do it.
It's true.
It's a tough one. Like literally, like I said, because Gappa took 0 damage. None of them could be hurt.
Same with Gulala until they dumped the shaving cream on him at the end of the movie.
So tough one. Yeah. I am going to say Gulala just because of the wider range of attack prowess.
Yeah. I think the 2 Gappas beat him, but I think one-on-one. I think
that's why I was saying like if we just do one-on-one.
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah,
he solos a Gappa. He does not win. He does not win a handicap match.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're in agreement. No need to make the movie now. We got to the ending for you.
Yeah. So there you go. Please don't make that movie.
I don't know. I would. I mean, I think I gave 5 stars to the X from Outer Space.
I think that was a 4 for me.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Yeah, I mean that's like what a bad movie should be. It should be like Plan 9 from Outer Space.
But like I said, like that's why we gave Gappa a 1, but we're still like being considerate of the monster itself. I think.
I mean,
we did a pretty respectable job. I think.
Gulala starts with them loading nuclear material into like a station wagon, and they like bump it on the side. The doctor's like, "Whoop! Don't bang that radioactive material." I was like, "Well, don't put it like in a Thunderbird station wagon." Like, but it's like then you just know you're off for a ride with that movie. So
I should rewatch that.
It's fun. It's a fun laugh the whole way through.
It's on HBO Max, I think. So.
Oh my God, is it?
Yeah.
Whew.
The Criterion Collection.
Whew. I bet it's actually probably pretty good print too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're all.
Yeah. Oh man, I might have to watch that because I've only ever watched like my DVD copy, which is like okay quality, but like not a Criterion collection quality one.
Yeah.
We might have to check that back out.
I think it's still on there. I haven't checked it forever. But
It's a movie I can watch like 1,000 times and never get bored of. But yeah, the hell with Gappa.
Get any fix?
I did. I got one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Did you get any?
Oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I tried, but I couldn't find anything I wanted. There was a Super 7 Rodan, but it was
Oh, the reaction.
yeah.
The reaction figure.
Yeah. Not the like the horizontal one. Just the standard Series 1 Rodan.
The Shogun. Oh, wait. Sorry. You mean the reaction, the Super 7 original reaction one, not the Shogun style.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Gotcha.
If I saw that one, I would get it. But
Oh, okay.
I didn't see the one I wanted, so
Yeah. Both are cool. I have
the
glow.
Mothra one I'll get.
Yes. If you
If
ever
I
find
see
the glow in the dark variant, get that one. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But my one big purchase. Actually, I feel like I have two, but I can't remember what the other one was. So it can't be that important. But but the big purchase was the Playmates. After they stopped making a playground for Gappa,
And they turned to figures.
they turned to figures and they made a very good Baragon figure.
I have seen this figure in person, and I will agree with your statement that it was a solid Playmates effort.
Yeah. Where did you see it in person?
Your house.
Oh, yeah. Very mysterious about where you saw it in person.
I was not trying to be mysterious. I admitted to it.
It's a very, very good mold. Very good looking figure.
Where did you see the Andre the Giant in the suit figure?
Here, right next to me, at your house.
Oh!
But Baragon, very good figure, very good detailed. Again, in a walking pose, because why would any Playmates? Every Playmates figure's got a place to
They're
be.
always like, I think that's how they're differentiating. Like they're just being like, we'll be in a walking pose, and they'll just be in like the stationary, boring pose that stands upright on your shelf and doesn't fuck around.
Granted, I do recognize the Playmates figures are actually meant for children, whereas all these other figures are meant for collectors. So I'm like,
Yeah.
kids like action poses. But like, Baragon is in mid walk, as most Playmates figures are, but he looks a little high. Got like kind of like the eyelids like half open.
Yeah.
He's like a little sleepy looking, like a little high looking.
He's got the Kess eye going.
Yeah, like it should be your favorite figure. Like it's
I think Gigan is
yeah, but he's high like you all the time.
high on life, pal.
But it's like funny that it's like we've gotten no 60s Baragon figures in like forever, and like Bandai and Playmates like both dropped two very good figures like almost at the exact same time. But
And Mezco too.
oh yeah, but that's like a little on the like that's a little bit more money. This is like a $10 figure, and the Bandai one's like $15, $20, something like that. Both are really good, and but I kind of felt like I thought the Playmates one was so good that I didn't feel compelled to buy the Bandai one. Bandai one has a little bit more like screen accurate paint though going on. But the Baragon,
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the tail.
Except for the tail. Although the Playmates one does not have the tail painted all the way to the end, which is a little disappointing because Playmates is usually pretty good at painting tails all the way to the end. That's the one thing they do better than Bandai consistently is paint the tails all the way to the end. But yeah, it's a very good figure.
I saw it. I agree. It's more in scale with like the Bandai figures. The Mezcos are smaller, so like if you think that's going to be a good substitute, it's not. If you're thinking from scale, but overall, like if you're looking for like a scale figure, like I think this is a solid one. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it's like this is like another example of like a figure that we had no idea was coming. It just kind of like appeared one day, and it makes me like wonder like what other random figure, like there's been long rumors of like people like scanning barcodes or kind of looking through like Playmates barcode numbers and going like, oh, there's like a code from Megalon. There's a code for this. There's a code for that. So like, what else is just going to like randomly appear?
I love a Megalon, but like I go to Target like once every week, once every 2 weeks, and I don't see him.
Baragon has not appeared in the wild.
There's a Ghidorah one that like came out in the UK, but like it never came
Maybe
out
came out in the UK. Like I know there's like some pictures of it floating around.
I thought I saw it on like eBay and Amazon and stuff.
No, really?
Yeah.
It's on eBay. I might have to look into that. But yeah, I don't know what that Ghidorah is. Baragon I did not find in the wild. It was like an
Amazon one.
Yeah, it was like a brief window of time. It was on Amazon, and that's where I grabbed it. But,
I did not.
I am not aware of people finding Baragon in the wild yet. So I don't know, Playmates. What's going on with your distribution here, pal?
I feel like some of the ones they released in stores like 6-8 months ago never sold, and they're still there.
Yeah, it's weird because like our local Target, like I feel like has had a lot of turnover with certain things, like the Godzilla vs Kong playset. I feel like that's gone as soon as they get more in. But the giant G54, that's like just chilling there now.
That's what I mean. Like those showed up, and I bought 2 of them right away.
Yeah,
like, one for me, one for you.
Yep.
And I was like, oh yeah, definitely get these, like because they're good. But like I still see them there all the time. I still see the
Final Wars one, the big one, the big scale one that had the same problem with that, like never left shelves.
Yeah, the Final Wars one was there all the time. The roaring Godzilla.
Oh yes, yeah. But the roaring Kong you hardly ever find. I found that in the Walmart once.
It took me forever to find that one.
Yeah, I feel like
I found that up in like a very rural area.
Oh. I feel like the GVK stuff is like not moving super fast, but I feel like the non-GVK Playmate stuff turns over pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like you don't see Terrestrius, you don't see Ultima, you don't see
him.
You don't see Rodan.
Like, I found Ultima like 2-3 months after you.
Yeah.
And I even had to message you and be like, is this the real one?
But like, you know, whenever like the Rodans come in, I feel like they're gone really quickly. And that's like a figure that's been out for like a long time. I'll disagree with
you on that. There's one of them. There's one Target near us that has had the same 2 forever because one of them's the old packaging and one of them's the new packaging. Is it
at the Boulder Dam store? Like what I did there?
Yes. I had to think about it, but it finally landed.
Yeah, that one, that's a Target that's very good for wrestling figures and Star Wars figures, and I feel like they have a very small, like the collectible section is very, very small.
Yeah,
and I don't feel like
I
don't feel like it ever like really gets any change. So, but yes, I have noticed like nothing has really moved out of the collectible section in that Target either. But
WWE shit moves there, I'll tell you that.
Sure does. But I don't know, I like finding these things in the wild. I like doing. I
definitely prefer it.
Yeah, it's like at the same time too, like you know, with the Baragon, I was like, if I don't grab this on Amazon now, I was like, what if I like don't find it for like 6 months? And it was like the markup was like there was like a little bit of a markup. But like wasn't that much.
And it wasn't enough for you to
right.
It was fine.
Right. But it's like at the same time too, though, I was like, it's like I kind of miss doing. Because right now I don't feel like there's anything I have to figure hunt for right now.
Right.
And I kind of miss the hunt.
I do too. That's why I want the Ghidorah to get released over here.
Yeah.
I want to see that. If you start putting shit like that, like your newer figures instead of the same old figures you've had out in the shelves for the past year, Playmates, I feel like that's been like a real problem.
Yeah.
Is them just like not putting up new figures, just the same figures they put out last summer have been there since last summer.
But I guess outside of like, as I'm thinking this through, because like I feel like Star Wars shit is like never changing in Targets and Walmarts. I feel like it's always like the same handful of things all the time. I feel like WWE does a really good job of like churning things over. But even
it's usually like 2-3 months they're on shelves and then that's it. There's like 1 or 2 exceptions that are like, come on guys, buy this please.
Mattel clearly has this down to like I feel like Mattel has a much better rhythm going on with like how they distribute like their figures.
Yeah.
But But even like the AEW figures, like I feel like I'm just seeing like the same shit over and over and over and over again.
Playmates, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like, so maybe it's not a Playmates. Well, it's a Playmates problem, but maybe it's like a lot of other companies are having the same sort of problem. I don't know what's causing that problem, but but it's like I feel like Star Wars doesn't change a lot, and that's that's Hasbro. AEW certainly, like, there's no new AEW shit coming in around us.
Yeah, it's been a barren wasteland. The last ones I got were like the Sammy and the Darby Target exclusives.
Yeah, and it's like you go to Target and it's like the same. Any Target, we are blessed to have a cornucopia of Targets around us, and it's like those two lines, Star Wars and AEW in particular, like, and Playmates, so 3, like, they have not changed over like at all.
It's been tough,
and a lot.
If you look at my figures too, like I have a lot of AEW figures.
Yeah.
Like I do think they're good, but the problem is like they don't like give me what I want.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, here's the new line, and
go buy it online.
Yeah. Like it comes out like 4 months after it's out online, so it's just kind of like I either have them or I don't.
Another thing I've not found in the wild, there's been a Hot Wheels, like Godzilla. There's 2 Hot Wheels Godzilla things out there.
Yeah. And
like I see them all the time, like on Macari and eBay and stuff like that. Like, and they're not expensive. They're like,
no, they're very inexpensive.
They're like $10, like on like Macari. And stuff.
To Macari, I was gonna say because they're like,
if you bought them at Target, like they're like $4.
Yeah.
And so like part of me is like, I'm like, oh well, I want them for what they are, but like it's like like maybe at some point I'll just break down and buy them for like $10 on Macari, but I want to find them in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
And all these places I go, like I've never looked at the Hot Wheels section of a store before. And now I'm always looking, going like, all right, like where's Godzilla shit in here? And it's like, I've noticed those sections never turn over. Like people buy the stuff up and they just don't get replenished.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's happening here? There's a problem here. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what the problem is though. Where is the problem? How do we address the problem?
I think a lot of companies are worried about like overstock. And so that's like their most, like the thing they're focused on the most. So they don't stock as much as they used to.
Yeah. I mean,
I know companies take a big hit on like stuff they don't sell. So if they sell it to like other places to like buy it at like pennies on the dollar. So that's sort of like a worry for them at this point.
Yeah. I mean, not having like Toys R Us's anymore and stuff like that, like, it's like you always hear about how like those like spaces on Targets and Walmarts and the toy aisle are like, space is a premium, so it's gonna be really competitive of what's gonna fill those spaces. And I think like not having like Toys R Us's really anymore, or like KB's or whatever, like there's just no store just dedicated to having aisles and aisles of toys.
Yeah. And
so like, Target and Walmart, they're not gonna like buy inventory to like from all these companies for all these things. And we lose as the consumer.
Yeah.
It's a real bummer. Toys R Us, we didn't know how good we had it till you were
gone.
I
I knew how good we had it with Toys R Us. I love Toys R Us.
God, I think about like
I also never worked there, so I never had any bad feelings about it. I know a lot of people who work there who badmouth it a lot.
God, there was a Toys R Us like right down the road from my house.
Yep.
And I would go every now and then, but I didn't go all the time. There's so much Godzilla 2014 merchandise that like I just missed out on just because I just like it was going so fast and furious. I could not stay on top of it all.
If they hung around, they'd be having the best time with WWE shit, with Godzilla shit, with Power Rangers shit. They'd be swimming in dough if they hung on, but they chose not to.
I have a weird collecting regret of like with the Godzilla 2014 stuff where it's like I was trying to get everything I could, but like I just that particular time all that merchandise was out, had a lot of other things going on in my personal life, and I was like just not making these runs to Toys R Us. But I was like, I'm glad I got like the fucking 3 foot tall Godzilla 2014 figure, which I got on sale for $20, which is incredible. And I got a few other things, but like, there's so many other like Godzilla 2014 figures. Like missed out on just because I wasn't going all the time.
Yeah.
And I got like, God, I was like, we were hit with so much 2014 merchandise, and I got a fraction of it. It kills me all the time. It wasn't for a lack of trying. It just was for a lack of time.
I understand. Not to go on a tangent about Toys R Us, but like I have like several Toys R Us exclusives hanging on my walls.
This is the back end of the episode. This is where we do this shit.
I have like a cool Dragon Zord I got at Toys R Us. I have 2 WWE belts I got at Toys R Us that are on my wall right now. And I'm just like, wouldn't have got them if Toys R Us didn't exist, because they're in Target too, but the women's belt in particular, like I wouldn't have got it for what I got if Toys R Us didn't go out of business either.
Do you ever watch anybody who, like, particularly Canadian YouTubers who do like figure hunts, and because like Toys R Us is like thriving in Canada?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If they hung on and they kept stores open, they'd be having a great time right now.
Yeah,
but they made the decision to liquidate. In Toys R Us up in Canada, like I see the Major Pod go out there and they're like, "Yep, it's a destination."
Brian Myers and Heath.
Yeah, it's exactly. I watched that the other day. I was like, it's a destination for these guys. Like, it's probably that way. The parking lot was full. You know,
yeah.
The shelves were pretty well stocked, but also kind of barren.
Have you ever watched Laura Legends? That's a really good figure collecting channel, and she's in some part of Canada, and she has access to like a lot of like Toys R Us's, and like what I really like about like watching her channel is that like she's just like she's not like a super specific toy collector. She's like an overall, like it's like crazy to me like how she's so spread out. Like she collects like fucking everything, but she always does kind of give like a little special attention to like particularly Jurassic Park, but like she is interested like in Godzilla stuff, but like Jurassic Park is like one of the big things. But like it'll be like He-Man, it'll be like Ghostbusters, Star Wars. Like she just like collects like so many fucking things. Like even there's like some stuff where like she'll just like going like, oh well, I don't really know what this is, but it's like kind of cool, so I'm just gonna collect the whole line. And like she always goes like these like Toys R Us's in Canada, and she'll just like film herself like in there, and I sit there and like I was like, oh my god, it's like these are like the Toys R Us's like I remember like our youth.
Yeah.
And it's like I just like sit there and I just like I'm so jealous of like, and she does kind of like gloss over the Godzilla stuff sometimes, but like you'll see her like walk down the aisle like going to Jurassic Park, and she'll pass the Godzilla section, and I'll be like, there were some videos where like, oh, I'm like, look how much shit is there right now, like all like the war bats, like those like pretty hard to find. Like when like she was like doing episodes where I would just see like rows of like the Playmates war bats figures like on there, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like what a plethora of riches you have up there in the apartment above America.
The 3rd floor apartment.
Which is probably nicer than the actual second floor apartment.
Yeah.
But in a lot of regards. But yeah, like I don't know, it's like sometimes I watch those videos and I'm like, oh man, if I ever I've been to a lot of countries, I've never been to Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been to Canada 3 times.
It's funny because like from where we live, it's not that far away. And I have never been to Canada.
Toronto is a lot like New York City, but without all the stuff.
But it has Toys R Us's.
I would recommend Quebec City.
Okay.
Vous parlez français, mais c'est bon.
Sure. Sure. So, yeah, if I ever go to Canada, I'm going to go to Toys R Us.
Yeah, me too. If I ever go back. If they'll have me.
If they'll have you. Well, you know, I don't think you got any priors or anything.
Oh,
I think
no,
you're
nothing,
all good.
yeah.
You got a squeaky clean record.
I'm just trying to be polite, eh?
They'll take you. They need a person of your upstanding character there.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I need a backup plan. Anyway, I did not get any figs, so I have a penance to pay. So
while you fire it up, I will set the table on the penance purchase. So when one of us does not have figures, the other has to fire up the old eBay. And one of us will say a number and a character, a kaiju character, and you will have to do a buy it now to that corresponding number for that character. And we put a price cap on this. I think $15 is like a good way to do this.
Okay.
So last time we did this, you did not put figure as part of your search. Now I'll leave that up to you if you want it to be figure or not figure, and that's how you ended up with an incredible Godzilla versus
Hanging on
Megalon
my wall.
publicity photo,
Yeah, hanging on my
which
wall.
is fantastic.
I want it. I'll put figure in today.
Okay. So your parameters will be buy it now, price cap of $15. I have not had time to think about this ahead of time. It's going to be a little off the top of my dome. I also, like last time, I think I said like a number like 25 or 26 something. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to keep it a low number.
Thank you.
I'm going to say I didn't like realize like what I had done until it like you started going through it. And I was like,
Same.
oh man,
Same
I was
thing
like,
happened to me.
I was like, whoops. So let's see. I'm going to say I'm going to turn to Battleline actually for inspiration. I'm going to look at my roster of Battleline characters, and I am going to say 7, the number 7, and I am going to say I'm going to say Space Godzilla. So Kess is typing in Space Godzilla. Going to buy it now.
Okay.
Setting a max price of
Okay.
what do we got? If it's a figure, if it's the Playmates figure, you can take the next highest or next listing.
It is not the Playmates figure. It does go over the allotted amount, but I'm cool with the amount that
Okay.
it goes over with.
Okay.
It is an action figure 6-inch Space Godzilla monster King Kong versus Skull Island Toho dinosaur.
Is it a boot? It's a bootleg. Oh my god, that's actually fucking awesome. Can I see it again?
Yeah.
Actually, really quick. So, all right. So, what you are actually buying? All right. So, this is actually kind of sick because this is a bootleg. But what this is a bootleg of, it's the mold from the original 1994 Bandai Space Godzilla, but he's got like the red and black and silver color scheme. I think this is actually pretty fucking sweet.
So that's why I was looking at it. I was just like, I'm cool with this. Like,
Yeah. So that's a bootleg of the very first Space Godzilla Bandai figure.
So it's buy it now. It's over the amount, but like I
Yeah,
said,
that's cool though.
whatever.
That's a cool piece.
It's $20.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. Well, that's very exciting. We'll have that review for you. We should also have a rule too. You cannot have 2 penance purchases in a row.
I'll try not to, but I mean,
because next episode you'll review the figure, so I think that kind of completes the penance, and then you get a pass to the next episode.
understood.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was very much so in favor of the penance purchase when you brought it up because it keeps me honest, and I should have this by April 15th, so we should be good.
Fantastic, but also this is like a fun way to kind of get random shit into your collection.
That's what
Both
I mean.
of our
Like,
collections. Yeah.
I'm cool. You'll hear no objections from me.
I might intentionally not buy something just to have to do it.
Exactly, it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, because actually, I was looking at that, going like, "Oh fuck, that's actually kind of sweet."
Yeah. And that's why I was looking at it. I was like, a 7. I was like, I hope I don't get the Playmates one because I don't want another one.
No, you can't buy doubles. Can't buy doubles.
So what's the rule for doubles? You just go to the next number?
You go to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. We're good. We
Yeah.
we ironed it out, and hopefully that was good audio.
If I think the true believers, I think, stick around for this chunk of the podcast. I have never looked at the metrics of like when people stop listening. Actually, I don't know if we actually get that information, but it's like, I mean, with like a lot of podcasts I listen to, like I kind of know the back end is the much looser part of a podcast. And to some people, they like that. So
I'm definitely loosened up today.
this is listen. It's we are a podcast that offers entertainment to everybody, to different things. We're much more serious in the front end, much looser in the back end.
It's we're a mullet.
We're
of
offering
podcasts.
something for everybody. Is
Yeah.
what it is. This is the stuff that people put in their Patreons, and we give it away for free. This loose talk.
We should start doing a Patreon. Why not?
Yeah, because apparently Podbean's just not inserting ads into our shit. So
We tried.
I would, we could talk offline, but I would consider doing like $1 or $2 tier. I feel like I would not feel guilty about doing $1 or $2 Patreon.
Okay.
But I have we could do really random topics. I feel like on a $1 or $2 Patreon tier.
I'm in.
We can talk. We'll talk turkey offline.
All right. Yeah.
So, do another poll.
I was going to say what are we doing next time, but if you want to do a poll.
Do you have something in mind? Because I don't have anything in mind.
I don't. I'd love to do polls. Maybe we'll bring up some past things that almost won but didn't. And then
Yeah, we just do that. We could just do that.
We'll take it from there.
Yeah.
But anything you want to leave a listener with?
Godzilla says I got no friends.
Godzilla says I have to fight my own battles.
Just fight my own battles.